We're live. I don't know. Here we go. We're live. 25 seconds in, which makes no sense. Welcome to another episode of the Air Attack Podcast. I'm your host, Michael. As always, listen to us on all major platforms. And we're going to continue our trend talking some NFL football with the one and the only Josie. And if you guys will kind of story real quick on that, prior to the show, I thought it was Josie, but it's Josie. So the certain person out there that you know who you are. I lost my bet, but nonetheless, she is a writer for Couch Guy Sports, Josie, and a diehard Dallas fan, which would love to talk about this. Welcome to the podcast. Glad to have you, and let's have some fun.
Thanks for having me, but I want to know what your bet was for getting my name wrong.
The bet was the fact that I cannot pronounce people's names.
Oh, there's nothing out of it? No, like
No, I still
$5,
owe.
$10.
So he's a good friend of mine. He's the host of Defining Moments. I don't have my hoodie with me, but okay. Now we're on last year. No, we're not. Yes, we are. Trey Lance was a rookie, so 2 years ago. Anyway, so I came on his podcast first time. He asked me the bet. The bet was I thought Denver was going to go Trey Lance first round. Patrick Satan.
Yeah,
But
I remember that year because that's who I
and
wanted.
so I thought that, or Micah Parsons. However, I lost both because the deal was if I got it right, he'll owe me steak dinner somewhere out in Shawnee or somewhere out east from Oklahoma City. And if I lose or if he wins, I obviously pay. So I don't know if he remembers that bet, but if he listens, which I know he does religiously, he'll probably text me tomorrow or Saturday over the weekend. So there you go, Wong. Wong, if you're listening, which I know you are, I still owe you steak. So
There you go. You get steak out of this. You're welcome.
hey, we gotta, I owe up my bets. And so many of you guys may know I'm gonna turn my volume down because I know Twitter does not send comments through StreamYard for whatever reason. But nonetheless, at least you, on the other hand, Josie, gets the privilege of the audience looking at my face because last night apparently I was completely black.
Ooh, so that was the technical difficulty.
That was it because I was wondering what. Oh, there he goes. He just texted on the Twitter stream. You owe me a steak medium rare. So there we go.
I like the way he likes his steak. Perfect.
He's a good guy. You'll enjoy him. But nonetheless, let's talk some football. We got so much to get into. Of course, I'm happy. Randy Gregory, a Denver Bronco, but he wasn't so much the fact that he's a Bronco. It was the fact that Dallas already tweeted it out. The fan base has already tweeted it out. Literally, all the sports outlets in Dallas, the Metroplex area, tweeted out, which was no surprise. I thought he was going to be. The mic sounds great. Thank you very much. I thought he was going to be easily Denver or Dallas, hands down.
Usually Denver. No, that
Denver,
was a
yeah,
flop.
Dallas. No way. He was a long shot. I thought for Denver in the long anyway. So was
Mhm.
Russell Wilson. But I look at it this way: what in the world that you may know of? What was the last split second from Randy Gregory signing with Dallas to Denver that you may know of?
You know, all I've been hearing is that it could be management stake, something up there promising him something that hasn't come true. Yeah, basically, Dallas is not very structured when it comes to their signings, and I can admit that. They gave him the same contract that Denver offered him, but obviously, he must have been unhappy with someone up there with the signings and promised something that didn't end up in that contract, or maybe a teammate. I don't think it's a teammate issue. I definitely think it's a like structure up in the
Right.
management level. The Joneses are a little frustrating to deal with sometimes.
You read my mind, and that was the thing that I'm going to strictly kind of go off of. And don't hold too much grudge on me. I don't like Dallas at all. I don't. I don't like, well, the entire state I'm not a huge fan of, but
Who likes
I
Dallas
was
that's not a Dallas fan? That's
not
what
many people. Not many people.
not many.
And so, and so the funny part is I enjoy when they lose, especially in the
As
playoffs.
most do.
However, I still respect the tradition that they have in Dallas, even though probably majority of the fans that's older than we are still living in the 90s. But that's perfectly fine. I'm good with that. We're still living in the good on late 90s with John Elway. So, we're good. However, coming from a obviously loyal diehard Dallas fan, and I'm going to say obviously I'm going from a non-standpoint, but is Jerry Jones really the issue? I think he has too much control. And I think if they can get, I'm not saying go out and get George Pat or Peyton. I don't care where they go with. But it seems to me as if Jerry Jones is the key issue, having too much control of that team.
Yeah, so I've said this many times to people. Jerry Jones, great owner, knows how to
Oh,
make money.
absolutely.
That stadium is ginormous. I've never been in person, but my dad has. He went without me. Kind of rude. Um, he took my stepmom, who's not even a football fan. I'm like, really? Anyway,
Wow.
so, Giant Stadium knows how to bring in money and revenue. Great at that. But he's putting too much effort in different pots. We definitely, personally, I feel like should have a general manager that's name is not Jerry Jones or last name Jones. Because
Hmm.
even his, sons are in it. Stephen Jones. I don't really know the other sons' names, but I've heard Stephen Jones's name a lot. And that'll probably be who takes over next. It just is going to go through the Jones ladder. And
Right.
great ownership. Great ownership. Obviously, they're a profitable football team. Probably the most profitable.
Yep.
Profitable. Wow, I can't speak. I teach, but I can't speak.
You're good. It's a
Profitable,
long day.
football franchise. So great at making money. But when it comes to the general management side, there's like draft day. You sit there and you're like, what is he
Yep.
doing? Does he even know football? Why are we drafting offense when we need defense this year? He's been
Yep.
great at it the last couple of years. Micah Parsons, as you mentioned, in your bet. Great pick.
I do like that one.
Yeah,
Phenomenal rookie year for him as well.
hell
Phenomenal.
yeah. But, he's got to stick to one thing. He's been old for as long as I've been alive, it seems like. But,
Oh my
I'm
god.
just like, when is he going to give some power away? And who is he going to give that power to? Does he want it to stay in the family? More than likely, yes. But is that the smart move? No. Like how you guys have Elway now, or did for a little bit.
Did.
I don't know. Do you still have him as general manager?
So no, so George Payton, excuse me. So George Payton, so Elway supposedly stepped down. I think more so probably Joe Ellis probably told him, dude, we appreciate what you've done, but can you please? Because obviously he was taking hits left and right, and respectfully so. George Payton or Patton, however you want to call it. I say Payton because it's cool, sounds cool. I'm sure it's Patton, but that's fine. But you got George now in the general manager position.
Okay.
Elway now technically his contract expired a few months back. He's more just like a special advisor to the organization. I
Okay.
don't even know really if that's even a position at this point.
It is
I think
John
at this
Elway.
point he just has to be a part of it because it's John Elway.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
So like having someone that knows your team, has played on your team,
yep.
I feel like very smart move. But who that could be for Dallas, I don't know. Troy Aikman's too busy announcing.
Hmm.
Staubach's old. I don't know if he's dead or not yet. I don't think he is. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't keep up with that.
That's hilarious. That's definitely going to be a clip to advertise this thing. That is hilarious.
Love that.
Show can in on that right now.
Almost young and should not be anywhere near the Dallas organization right now. He's
Right.
thriving in broadcasting. You don't want to go too young, but like if you go with somebody that knows football, you could go with one of the 90s studs to be somewhere, maybe not general manager, but somewhere in that picking. Like giving a brain to the general manager.
I was thinking that, and you brought up a good point is who would Dallas bring in? And of course, Dion's coaching. Dion's coaching now. Um Dion's coaching. Michael Irvin's not. I think there's too much money in the booth.
Right.
On ESPN, of course, for Irvin. Aikman's getting paid up the where,
Yeah, they got their new
doing what he's
contract and they're
yeah.
thriving.
Emmett Smith, I don't know if he would even. I don't
I don't
know if
think
he
he
would
can get it.
even.
No.
Um, I don't know if he would even. What was that? I don't know if he would even. That was random. I don't know if he would even. Someone said that's sent me a direct message. Dallas and Denver had better days. Move forward. Okay.
Well, Dallas
Anyway,
and Denver have not had better days. Denver has Dallas's hand in like all of our fucking matchups. Oops, sorry, I cussed. I'm sure that's my show.
you're good. You're good. I've had. Trust me, I've had podcast
But
episodes. We
yeah,
we
like
opened up the book.
we're gonna keep talking Dallas and Denver, but I think the statistic now is in our heads to heads. Denver has won the last 7.
Hmm.
I think it's 7.
Correct. Yep.
So Dallas has seen a lot of better days.
And to the person, I'm sure it's a troll.
It's Denver.
To to the person, I don't know who the person even was. I'm sure it's a troll. To the person that said that, check your history book. We've had better days. Last time I checked, I'm sure you're more than likely a Detroit Lion fan. So trust
Is
me,
it
we
my
have definitely
ex?
had better days.
My ex is a Denver's fan. So,
Well, that might be it. He may be
ooh.
like,
Hi,
you
Nick.
never know. Now we got some X's on here trolling. But anyway, no. What I like about it is one. I think what I enjoyed the most when we drafted PS2 Patrick Surtain Jr. out of
Ah,
Alabama. A buddy of mine, Clyde, he was texting, "This is it, Josh Fields, Josh Fields." I'm like, "Nah, this is Patrick Surtain. I'm telling you, this is
mhm.
PS2." What I really loved was because Dallas was right next, right after us. I think at the 10th spot. I think we're
I
ninth
wanted
at
Patrick.
10. I still think if we would have went Fields, if we would have went, I don't give a f who it would have been. It would have been PS2 to Dallas, hands down.
100%.
Even Parsons, if we would have got Parsons, I still really believe PS2 would have been at Dallas, hands down. And the reason why I say that is because immediately once Patrick Surtain got drafted, Dallas went back.
Yep.
So, but you still got a great defensive lineman, so or linebacker. So I mean, it really wasn't too much of a bad loss.
Right. No, I definitely think it panned out the right way. But when that draft happened, that's definitely who I wanted. Um, I called him Hot Patrick, so that's how I knew him. But that's literally who I wanted, and I was watching it with my boyfriend, now ex at the time. So
Right.
that was real fun. And I'm like, "You guys took Patrick. I wanted Patrick." And then I'm like, "Wait, we moved back. Why?" And you know, obviously events happen for whatever reasons, and here we are now. Still not making any waves, but having better records at least this season, not the season before.
And I'm glad you brought that up because that's the next little topic. You got blocked. Um, was was the fact that coming from, obviously from that, we obviously know Dallas fan. Watching Dallas, the way they lost to San Francisco in the playoffs. Of course, the fans, you got two stories. They were throwing trash at the refs. I don't really think so. They were throwing trash at the refs. I still think they were throwing trash at the players. My personal opinion. Where does and I'm not making by any means making fun of Dallas at this point, but legit question: where does really really it's hard to do? Where does Dallas go from here? Because you got Dak in the long contract. Zeke's contract sucks. Of course, you got a good young receiver in CD Lamb. They obviously traded Cooper away, which I was a little disappointed in that. But I like Gallup. Of course, Parsons on the defensive side. The offensive line lost. Who they lost? Collins to where did Collins go? Anyway, doesn't matter. You lost Collins. Where does theoretically Dallas go? What's the answer to fix to get them over the hump from your standpoint?
Uh, that this could be a loaded question as far as do are we talking where they go next season or are we talking like long term? Because
Like, a both 2022 and beyond.
okay, well, next season I think the goal is just to try to win the division again more than anything.
Hmm.
Everyone always is like Super Bowl bound. I told you I'm having trouble speaking.
You're good.
um,
I know Super Bowl's tough for the Dallas
Super
fans
Bowl
to
or
say.
bust. That's what everyone says Cowboys fans are famous
Hmm.
for, and I'm one of those fans that my dad says I'm cursed. So, and the backstory
I'm
to this was I was born in '95. That was their last Super Bowl season, and so my dad was like, "You were born. They had their last win, and they haven't won since." So he's like, "You can't even remember the Super Bowl," and I'm like, "Yes, but I was alive.
wow.
I may have not been 1 years old, but I was alive." So
The fact that you are alive says a lot.
yeah, so I'm not cursed. That's my reasoning. But we haven't had a division winner repeat in the NFC East since it's either 2004 or 2005.
Hmm.
Don't quote me on that, but it was the Eagles.
You're good.
I think it's 2004. I want to say it's 15 or 16 seasons now. And like the NFC East sucks. I call it the NFC least.
Yep.
Um, so just to prove, like, hey, you can come back, you can win again, is
Hmm.
a huge statement if you can get more than an average 8-8 record. Not this season, but the season before, the winner had a losing record, and that's kind of embarrassing. Um, but yeah, the goal I feel like is just to come back and prove that last season wasn't necessarily just pure luck of, hey, they actually won 12 and 5, 12 and 6. The other game throws me off. How
I
many?
don't like the 17. I think
I
it's
don't like
12
the
and
17 either. We can
11
talk
and 6 or something like that.
about,
Yeah.
come back and, you know, I know we're not going to make a big playoff run. The goal is to win one playoff game for me. That's literally like that way we are not embarrassing anymore because that's the running joke is that the Cowboys just choke basically, which is true. Like,
I mean,
but
that's a tough argument. Yeah.
the upside of this is say next season the Cowboys go back to having a
Hmm.
roller coaster season. They end up average, don't win the division. Maybe they make a wild card spot, maybe they don't. The rumor mill that has been floating right now, Mike McCarthy gets fired, Sean Payton comes in and coaches. And that would be huge for the Cowboys. I would honestly love that, not the losing part, but having Sean
Right.
Payton on the staff as the coach because what my dad says this is that he's kind of the one that got away from Dallas. He used to coach at Dallas and went off to
Hmm.
the Saints, had a good run. He did have Breeze, that obviously
That
plays
helps.
a factor. Yes, that helps. But Prescott isn't that bad. He's better than a lot of people give him credit for, I feel like. I was not on the Dak train at all the first couple seasons, and he's kind of won me over. So, yeah.
I would take Dak over a lot of these quarterbacks that's currently in the league right now. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say
Not over
right now
your
for,
current quarterback,
well, no, not over Russell Wilson by any means, but
but over Drew Lock.
maybe last year, in the last six prior to, but, but no, I mean, no, it's interesting for Dallas because you look at Dallas, they're in easy, probably one of the most easiest and crappiest divisions in the league.
Correct.
And I totally agree with you. You can get 8, 9 wins in and still win the NFC East. I still think they got to be the favorite to win it this year because I mean Washington, yeah, Carson Wentz ain't going to do much for him, probably besides getting hurt. Um, Daniel Jones and with New York, we don't even know about that question yet. And then Jalen Hurts, we don't even know if he's even the answer for Philadelphia, even though
Right.
I like Jalen. But so I mean, you look at the NFC East, and it's an easy, hands down. Dallas should be the favorite. Now, win wise, what would they get? Probably. I mean, I don't know what the schedule looks like, but I
It's
say
true.
11 wins. I'm sure it's good, but they and going back to that cursed. What's funny is Gabe last night on last night's show we talked about cursed fan bases. Cleveland was brought up quite a bit. Buffalo was another one that was quite
Yeah.
brought up quite a bit. I think Dallas can be in that mix.
It's not because of me. I promise.
All you Dallas fans listening, if you start trolling her saying she's the reason, first of all, that's lowballing. Second of all, it's just yeah, no.
My
But
dad does
seriously,
it
don't.
daily. It's fine.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure of that absolutely. It would that would not surprise me by any means. But you look at Dallas. First of all, Texas Stadium when they deployed that, I still think that kind of cursed them. You can't tear down old stadiums. You just can't. I'm telling you, that's other teams suck. Look at the Yankees. I know it's baseball, but the Yankees haven't done much when they torn down the old original Yankee Stadium, and then you get the Bengals always suck, but Pittsburgh, yeah, here and there, but Denver really hasn't done too much after they deployed Mile High, and the list goes on and on and on. But you
Did they
never
have to
know.
deploy again since it caught on fire?
I was kind of hoping so. Give us a $5 billion stadium too. Everybody else is getting one. The Rams have
Why
one. The
not?
Cowboys have one. The Bills about to get one. I mean, why
Yeah.
not us? No.
It's still a nice
That
stadium.
was
I've been
weird
there
though.
a couple times.
Oh, it's very nice. Yeah, absolutely. No, it's that was weird though. I don't know if they finally figured out what caught fire or how it started, but I saw one of the videos. It was hilarious. I guess they were doing a tour. I don't know what in the world was going on, but in this video, someone's like, "Oh, the whatever side of the stadium, east or west. The let's just say it was the east. The east stadium's on fire, and they just stood there like nobody's like, what do we do? I think one guy in the background, well, what do we do? And some guy yells, "We call 911. Has 911 even been called?" I'm thinking, well, apparently not because you guys don't know what to do. This guy or this chick over here is recording it. And then the guy in the background is like, we should call 911. I'm like, yeah, because you're going to lose your whole east or west side, whatever that side is. You're
Yeah.
going to lose your whole sideline here if you guys don't get onto it. But, then someone said, well, it's Russell Wilson cooking. So
Yeah, that's the reason.
that was the meme I think a lot of people were making was it was Russell Wilson literally took Let's Cook too serious. Or someone mentioned it was Pete Carroll. I'm like, well, Pete Carroll is a general manager, I think, of Seattle or
Right.
president of operations, so he obviously has to approve that trade. So I
Right.
don't think it was Pete Carroll.
No, I don't think he's that
Whatever.
salty about it.
If he is, then you shouldn't trade your quarterback.
True. But I was hearing, because I live in Idaho and there's tons of Seahawks fans here.
Hmm.
I, I was hearing people say that they think Drew Lock could be the answer for Seattle's.
Oh my God.
Yeah, oh my God, is exactly what I thought when I heard this. I'm like, it's not April Fool's Day, is it? What kind of joke are you pulling on me right now?
I don't know if you obviously followed Denver during the Paxton Lynch days. And just so you know, I do have a Paxton Lynch jersey. I'm ashamed of saying that, but I do. It's hanging up in my closet. But he kind of gives me the Paxton Lynch vibe.
Mm.
Denver trades up to get him, highly touted quarterback, and he sucks. Drew Lock, I don't know what. Well, last year I don't think it doesn't matter who his quarterback for Denver
Yeah.
was. I don't think anybody could throw a ball to the receiver by any means. And I think Jerry Jones. Thanks a lot. I think Jerry
Have him
Judy.
if you want him.
No, I'm good on that end. Now he may want to own the team because
Yeah,
I
there
don't
you
think they've
go.
got an owner
Then you get
yet.
your stadium.
Oh, I didn't think about that. There should be a rule where NFL owners can own two teams. Then Jerry Jones can give us like a
AFC
three.
and NFC. They have to be in the opposite conferences.
Hey, at least we won more games since then. So I mean, he's got to give us some credit. But Drew Lock, I was big on Drew. I got another Drew Lock jersey too.
Yeah.
My quarterback selection jersey wise suck. Tim Tebow is in there. Paxton Lynch is in there. Drew Lock is in there. I do have Peyton Manning, so I did one
There you
thing
go.
right.
There you go. There's one.
Defensive side, D Ware, Hakeem Talib.
Represent.
I know I'm missing one.
Just
Somebody else.
beware. That's the only one
Wes
that matters.
Welker. I got his jersey from
Okay.
the when we got cremated by Seattle, but to each his own. So
Beware was the most important one you just said, personally.
D Ware's Hall D. God. AFC stands for Asian Football Conference.
Uh,
Thank you, Wong. I like that. Uh, um,
Beware. Talk about beware. We both
D
got it.
Ware.
94.
There we go. One of these sides, you'll get them anyway. 94, folks, on both sides. So if you're like, well, cringing here, what jersey
You
has this
know,
D Ware?
Gregory also is 94, though, so you just have a pattern of stealing our 94s. In 7 years,
But
I don't know which 94 we're going to give you, but you're welcome.
well, I can't predict the next 7. However, it's just funny that you're really good defensive end and lineman guys just really just want to transition to Denver afterwards. I don't get it. I will say this: was he before? Because I'm work has just been the same, but at least that part's over. Was he before or after Russ got traded?
Gregory was after.
That's
Yeah,
what I thought.
it was not long after, but I don't. Maybe that has a part in it. Are they buddies?
Where did Randy Gregory play college ball at? Nebraska?
I
Oh,
don't.
where's
That was back in
Jamie?
like. Oh, I'm googling right now. I'm
Because I
cheating
know
because I don't know off the top of my head.
I should know this.
He
My
played
phone,
college. Yes, Nebraska. Good job.
Nebraska.
You win.
And
I'm
you know
not
what's
getting you
funny
paid
is
for that.
no, please don't. I'm 3 years past due on somebody else's stake. Uh, but you know what's funny is I don't ever recall him being a stud at Nebraska.
I
Hmm.
couldn't tell you. But apparently he's wearing number 5 for you guys, so he switched from 94. That's.
That's weird for a defensive player.
I don't like that they did that number switch.
So pretty much he took Teddy Bridgewater's jersey.
That's fine, right?
Maybe he's gonna be the backup quarterback. Maybe he's a special skilled player to where he can play obviously defense, but what we don't know he actually can play quarterback just in case Russ gets hurt.
You say you don't. You guys still have Brett Rippon on the team, Boise State legend.
Well, that dude's a legend in
I
the
love
NFL.
him.
He's got something that we don't know because for the fact that he's still hanging around is impressive. I know his dad was a big time, I think what coach. Um
Yeah, his uncle played
his
for the
knowledge is
now
phenomenal.
Commanders.
I don't like that name.
I hate that name. We can get into
I'm
that.
just gonna throw it out there. I know people are gonna get pissed off on Twitter. I'm waiting for them to start trolling
What?
in. I thought it was dumb the fact to change the name. That's just me. I'm not even making it political. I'm just saying what I'm saying it.
Yeah.
Just like the Cleveland Indians. That was stupid. But anyway, that's another whole topic.
I was enjoying the Washington football team name. I was having fun with that one. There's so many jokes that could go with it.
There's a lot of things that can go with that. I was
Yes.
waiting for Kansas City football team, and I was waiting for the. I was hoping that what we would have saw as a domino effect from Washington. They would have went to Kansas City, then they would have
Right.
went to probably somebody else. The Denver
And
football
apparently
team, the
the Chiefs
Kansas
has
City.
been defensive. I don't know. And I can say that I'm Native American actually. So
Nice.
yeah, quarter. So I got a quarter say in this. Maybe. I don't know. Probably not.
Hey, I'm just flat out Irish, so I have no say in this.
Yeah.
Besides,
It didn't offend me though. I'll tell you that.
well, exactly.
No. I mean, it offends me that they're a football team because that's well, Eagles is my most hated, but then after that, it's the Commanders.
What are the
And then the
Giants?
Raiders.
There we go. Speaking of hate, Kansas City. Your thoughts on Tyreek Hill going to be being traded to Kansas City to Miami? You like that move? I don't
I love
like it.
that move.
I love it because that's one less player we have to worry about.
Now, that Dolphins offense with the moves they've made looks really nice on paper. So I technically usually every year I choose like an AFC team that I'm kind of like, okay, I can watch them if they're on TV or follow. Denver was it for a long time because they had DeMarcus Ware, but
Right.
since then it's kind of been cycling. I'm looking at that offense and I can't even remember all the signings they had. I know they took Cedric Wilson, who I loved.
Yep.
They took another one of our Cowboys offensive, Connor Williams, I want to say is who they took. So they have a couple of
Somebody took
Cowboys.
Collins, and I don't remember who.
It wasn't the Dolphins. Why do I want to say the Saints?
Ooh, that might have been it.
I know he's not cut till the June 1st, I believe. July 1st, one of the J months. I think it's June 1st.
Probably June.
Because, helps with the contract stuff. Yep. Oh, wait, what? Hold on. This can't be right.
Uh-oh.
Wrong Collins. What? Like, no, this isn't right. Wow, I'm Bengals. You went to
That's right, because I knew that Joey B had to get an offensive lineman.
Anyway. Regardless, yeah. The Dolphins, that was a huge contract they gave him. It's going to be weird seeing both Hill and Devontae Adams, who are easily 1 and 2.
Yep.
On different teams. Do not like that Adams went to the Raiders because, well, even though I'm from Vegas, I can never support the Raiders. Nope.
The Raiders never should have moved. You can't support the Raiders when they left Oakland.
You can't support the Raiders even before they left Oakland.
Hey, I got to be nice to him somewhat.
Yeah. Why? They're in your division. You're one of
Now,
those.
the one guy I do like in our division is Justin Herbert. That kid is a stud. I don't like Kansas City, but
yeah. Justin Herbert.
No, Vegas. I
you
don't
guys
like.
got some good quarterbacks in your division.
We talked about that last night. That division's stacked when it comes to quarterbacks.
I personally don't like Derek Carr. I do think he's a little overrated, but to each their own on that. But now, Devontae Adams and him both played at Fresno State, so they kind of have each other to back up now. So that'll be a good move for the Raiders. Unfortunately, they took the dude whose last name is pronounced the same as mine, Averett. I was mad about that. I like him because he has a similar last name. It's spelled differently, but it sounds the same.
I mean, nobody's gonna notice that.
The Raiders. I really can't. I'm still pissed when they took Witten, like 2 years ago, whatever that was.
Yeah.
Because that's my all-time favorite Cowboy, and he went and played for the Raiders for a year. Why? I don't know, but. The only downside is he never met my dad in Vegas, and they never became best friends. That was the only upside I had, was hopefully meeting Jason Witten someday, and it's not happening. But
maybe one day.
I'm tired of Cowboy just like DeMarcus Ware did. At least they make smart decisions afterwards.
Hey, D Ware his best, and what he did in Denver was phenomenal, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
With him and Vaughn. But
exactly.
Most of his great career was in Dallas, so I thought it was right that he retired a Cowboy.
Yeah, and I'm glad he got his ring. I don't hate Denver, unlike you hating the Cowboys, but I don't hate Denver. So
my hate towards Dallas is starting to lessen, just because
You're
Kansas
welcome.
City's. Just because Kansas City, I can't stand Kansas City.
Right.
Their fan base is fake. Speaking of Dallas.
Speaking
of Dallas, breaking news, real quick. Pro Football, per the NFL.com, Pro Football Hall of Fame famer Rayfield Wright, who played in 5 Super Bowls for the Cowboys, has passed away at the age of 76.
So someone on the Cowboys died. It's still wrong. My condolences to him. But anyway, Do I know that name?
Here we go. You ready for
No,
this comment? I'm going to show
unfortunately
it on
not.
here.
I could probably
You
go
may
ask
know
my
this person. I
grandpa.
don't know this person unless it's on YouTube. So this comment came on YouTube. Here we
I
go.
don't know, but I like that comment.
I see there's one
We
smart person
them
on here. Let's go
boys,
Cowboys, them
baby. We
boys.
them boys. And let me say,
Sorry, I think my phone moved.
I was not a fan of the them boys thing at first, but I have caught on that trend of we them boys. I love it so much now. As people who follow me on Twitter see, when the Cowboys win, I tend to perform a little lip sync to we them boys. So, something to look forward to for football season. You know,
It's better than a lot of these
good
people.
content sometimes.
Of course, Twitter. No, not Twitter. Twitch, which I get the random comments on, and YouTube, obviously, and Facebook. Um, Comments can show up on here. That's what I'm looking at. Comments can show up on here. Twitter, you're just stuck out of luck.
Yeah,
But anyway,
poor Twitter.
which is probably a good thing because
I mean, that's how you found me was Twitter. So Twitter's good for something.
I think Twitter is
Good for something.
Twitter. I think is the world's best social media outlet.
Oh yeah, that's definitely where I get my news and sports updates from if I can't watch a game. You know, I do have NFL and NHL because I'm a hockey fan as well. I have both their apps, but it seems like Twitter is quicker at announcing things.
The one thing I'm glad you brought that up because college football, and I don't know how much of it you follow. If my team's not in the playoffs, I don't care about the bowl games. So, and my team don't make, speaking of that, see, at least you can say that. OU. At least you can say that. Dallas has more playoff wins than my Sooners do. Even in the last 10 years, they got more wins.
NFL level team and college level football team.
But
I feel like this is a debate to everyone. You could put the best college football team against the worst NFL team, and the worst NFL
I hate
team
that debate.
still going to, I do hate
I
that
still
debate.
hate that debate. That debate is horrible. The good Alabama teams, well, they can beat New England. No, the fuck they can't. No, they can't.
Of all
That's
the teams,
stupid.
why the Patriots? First off.
Well, I think because I'm sure that's everybody's love fest. Speaking of which, I'll get that in a second. I know I'm gonna go, but I think somebody texted me that a while back. It was it the LSU? It was the LSU team. So 19, yes, 2019. Somebody said, well, the 2019 LSU Tigers can beat whoever it was. I don't like that because again, first of all, these NFL players are your world's best, even though there's really just one league. It's not a world league. But there's no. It's like saying, for example, well, the New York Yankees, they could lose to whoever the best college baseball team. I don't follow college baseball, but whatever the best college baseball team is, Vanderbilt, I guess. I don't know. They can lose to them. No, there's not. I'm sorry. These pro teams, they won't ever lose. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
It's just the best of the best. Each one weeds out a little bit more, and you're not gonna.
Exactly.
No.
I mean, if you're really deprived of
Alabama does. A lot of people get drafted from Alabama, yes, but it's not the whole football team going over each year. Could you imagine every single pick for the first round? Alabama.
Oh my God. I swear to God, some days it seems like that though.
It does, 100%. But yeah, my college football is Boise State because that's where I went to school at. So there's no relevance there besides that. A lot of them are on the Dallas Cowboys, which I love. So
now Boise, I was being recruited from them back in mid 2000s. That kind of show you my age, even though I'm only 34. But I like Boise, even though they beat OU in the Fiesta Bowl and made us. I like OU fans. They still harp on that. We lost
got college hate too.
Yeah, 14 years ago, we still talk about, or however long, 16 years ago, we still talk about that. Oh, Statue of Liberty. Yes, it was cool.
Love
Let's
that.
make fun of. Hey, I have nothing wrong with it. I like when David beat Goliath in any kind of sport. It's cool with me. So, whatever.
So you're saying there's a chance for the Cowboys? That's how I'm
Well,
spitting.
there's a chance for them to win NFC.
The AFC is so much stronger than the
Eh,
NFC. That's so much stronger. Besides the Rams, which obviously Super Bowl champs. But there's
you
only a
know,
couple like I have these football helmets that are sitting over here,
hmm
like literally mini helmets of every single team, and I have them in like the divisions. Actually, I should just pan over to that. Over there, a
nice.
water bottle. But all of the mini football helmets. Um, and I sit there and I look at them, and I'm just sitting here like quarterbacks in the AFC versus quarterbacks in the NFC. Different things. And
Hmm
the AFC is just so strong. The NFC, you've got, well, unfortunately, Brady's back. And then you got the Rams, which Stafford really needed to get away from the Lions, apparently, to be successful. And they've got a stacked team in general. You got Aaron Rodgers, who somehow got a really big contract. He should retire soon, too. And Dak Prescott's pretty good. Kyler Murray's a little
Pretty good. I
What?
got no. No, let's comment. I'm gonna.
Oh no.
No, go on. No, it's no. Go on. I'm gonna.
Oh no. But you look at the AFC and you've got like Joe Burrow. I think he's freezing. Okay. Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, who
Hmm
really annoying, but he's gonna be
His
around
brother
for a
sure is.
while. Justin Herbert, Russell
Stud.
Wilson. So
Stud.
thank you for taking him from the NFC to the AFC. We really appreciate that.
Anytime.
Mac Jones
Anytime.
has been pretty good for the Patriots. For some reason,
He
they have
shows some
a way of
promise.
getting people with 3 letters in their first name, 5 letters in their last name, and making something out of them.
He shows some promise.
We've got Lamar, who could show some promise.
No.
He's kind of been up and down, so who knows?
He knows how to run to the toilet though.
Waiting for that. Um, but yeah, you can list so many more key players in the AFC than the NFC when it comes to
Hmm
strength, in my opinion, like quarterback wise.
AFC reminds me so much, and it's a bad comparison because it's two different sports. But it reminds me so much like the American League. The American League has better hitters, and that's why when you get to the National League, these pitchers, um, they struggle so much from the if they go from the NFC to the AFC or the NFC. Rephrase timeout. If they go from the National League to the American League, they struggle a lot. That's like, well, I don't understand why they're struggling. Well, because there's better hitters compared to the NL. Now the NL has better pitchers compared to the AL, but when it comes to hitters, and I think I agree with you. I think the quarterback position is definitely better in the AFC. You look at the NFC. I do like Dak, even though he
He's
needs to
pretty
do
good.
better. He needs to do a better job of time management and realizing how many timeouts he's got.
And
But
14
in that
seconds.
heat of the
Ball.
moment,
Great play.
in the heat of the moment, I see where it's disappointing, but whatever. But God, okay, I'm gonna pick your brain on this one. So Clyde, I don't know what happened to his Twitter. I hope he's okay. I really do. I may have to shoot him a text later. Um, I should have probably done that earlier. Um, but he's been on many times. He lives in Denver.
Okay.
Um, and he always said, "Well, why don't you want Aaron Rodgers?" And I tweeted out it was during last year's
Be bold.
I was during last year's draft. I tweeted out,
Mhm.
"You'd be surprised. All these people just tweet back. You don't know what you're talking about. Blah 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 blah." The
Right.
list goes. I mean, literally, is a bam bam bam, shooting off mo. I'm like, guys. Okay, first of all, would I want to turn down a MVP quarterback? Absolutely not. However,
No.
here's why I'm turning here's why I'm turning this trade
Here's why
offer
I'm
down.
turning down.
Here's why. He's old. I'm sorry. He's
Yes,
37 years old or 38, whatever it
exactly.
is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give up 3 first round picks that Green Bay wants for him. I'm sure they probably
Right.
would have want. Oh God, I'm sure they probably would have want some other players, probably a Judy or a Cortland. I don't know what they would have asked for. I thought we did better off. I really thought we gave him really no offense players. I would have
You kind of
gave
robbed the
up.
Seahawks. just a little bit.
Don't tell anybody that.
I liked the tight end that went to them though. I
Noah
really did
Fant
like
can
the
play if
guys'
he can
tight
stay
end.
healthy. I
Yeah,
really think he can be something for Seattle, regardless of who the quarterback
yeah,
is.
agreed.
He can stay good. Shelby Harris is going to be a wreck on that defensive line. He'll be great for us. I know he was a little butthurt how everything transpired from what his side of the story is, and
Hmm.
it's a business, but I get it. Drew Lock, I think now going to come. Maybe this is where Drew Lock comes in.
The
He got
answer is
traded after
yeah,
George
problem.
Pay, after Nathaniel Hackett, and and obviously I get they probably already knew they were going to trade for Russell Wilson. Just a matter of time of when. But I love how Nathaniel Hackett. He's our guy. Can't wait to work with him. They build up the. I'm sure he's building up his confidence. Probably 2, 3, 4 weeks later, bam, you're traded. Get the out of here. You're gone.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks, but whatever. But this might be the thing for Drew Lock. But anyway, going back to Aaron Rodgers real quick. He's old. No, I'm sorry. I wouldn't give up. I probably wouldn't even give up a draft pick. I'd be like, nah. You can have Drew Lock and maybe Shelby Harris. That's about as much as you're gonna get because I'm not interested.
Right.
But I got a lot of hate from that.
You guys have already done that. Been there, done that with Peyton Manning. It worked. You got a Super Bowl out of it. You
Yep.
can't be known as that team that does that.
No,
Not
exactly.
successful every time. But Peyton Manning is a gem. I love that man. So,
Rumors have it that he's interested in buying the Broncos.
hmm,
Now I don't know if he has that kind of money that they're asking, the 3.8 billion or
Peyton
whatever the
Manning.
asking price is. But I'm sure he can go in and try to get a partner or two, and
Right. That would be interesting. He's successful after football. Obviously, he has his own TV show. He does the broadcasting with Eli. I think he did some coaching on the side, or maybe I know Eli did, but I
hmm
don't know if Peyton did for sure. Um,
he probably, if he has, is probably,
you
I'm
still
sure,
see his
little
face
league.
everywhere, so you know he's
What
not.
I'm really surprised about, I want to make sure I'm not missing nobody's comments. What I'm surprised about is the fact that he has spent most of his time in Denver. I figured he'd be going back to Indy, kind of like hanging out, but really, I don't know. Maybe there's some bad blood between Indy and Peyton that we don't know about.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm not making no rumors or anything.
You would think where he was playing most, and didn't he end up retiring a Colt too, or no?
hmm
Okay, and they have a statue for him at their stadium.
hmm
I think, pretty sure.
Yep.
So maybe he just doesn't want all the publicity that comes with going back to Indy. Maybe he's too famous there, even though he's famous everywhere.
Oh, who doesn't love Peyton unless you're New England?
No, literally, who doesn't love Peyton? I personally, everyone's like Peyton Brady, who's the best quarterback, and I'd take Peyton over Brady any day. He doesn't have the ego that Brady has. He has the leadership skills. You have to love him. His show, Peyton's Places, really great.
I like it, and hey, what's up, Thomas? I know you're Thomas Hall is watching, and I know he'll be on next week. Looking forward to that. Um, what's interesting is here's real quick on Brady. Did he not like his home life? Is that why he came back?
Honestly,
Dude, stay
I think
retired.
he saw the gas prices go up, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta support my family. Go back." I don't know.
God dang it. The inflation now. Obviously, I'm not going to ask your
I think
stance
I
on that
think he
whole.
wants one more ring. He kept saying he didn't want to retire until he got another ring, and I don't think he has the chance at it again with the Bucks. You don't. I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I think he should just go away again. That was really nice for all of 5 minutes or however long. It
What
was
was it? 5 days or something like that?
I don't know, but it was literally when gas prices were going back up that he's like, I'm going out of retirement. So that's my theory. And then there was rumors he wanted to get traded to. I want to say it was the Dolphins, honestly. I'm
Hmm.
like, why? Do you just want to go play against the Patriots again? And
I still
Patriots
think he
are
wants to.
pretty
Yeah.
pissed at him. So at least the ones that I associate with.
He was mentioned the Chargers and the Jets. I know
Mhm.
Denver was. I'm like, no, 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 no. Please don't. Um, no, please don't. I would cringe. Um, no, I get Brady. Obviously, I'm not like I mentioned on last night's shows. I'm not going to take anything away from him what he's done.
Right.
Um, but my thing is this: you're 43, 44.
Hmm.
What 7 rings he's got? I Nobody's going to catch him.
Right.
I thought if Patrick Mahomes would have won this year, maybe so.
Hmm.
Um, but dude, come on, man. This is the question. He's mentioned a few years ago he can play till 50. I really hope not, but
If anyone's gonna do it, it is gonna be him. But I really hope not to. But
maybe
for me, it's
maybe
like
Dallas will
you
get him.
retire. You should stay retired at least for 1 year
Yeah,
before deciding to come back. You didn't even give it a full off season, so
I feel like he's the reason why Bruce Arians stepped down.
that could very well be. Ooh, I like
Bruce
that.
Arians is like, you know what? Nah,
Drama in
I
the
ain't dealing with this crap.
butt.
I just think Tom Brady's kind of like LeBron James. I could see him being on that sideline, like,
He wants
no,
to
we're
play
gonna.
with his son. Oh no.
Yep, I could easily see him being like a LeBron, telling literally front office. And that could be another thing. Is that why Bruce Arians? Oh, here we go. Sports conspiracy. There's the Lord. All the sports conspiracy people out there listen to this. He could be Bruce Arians. Be like, you know what, Tom? I like your ideas. I'm going to move to the front office position, and then we can make all these moves that you want to make you happy for whatever reason.
Mhm.
And there you go. Hey, I don't care what Tampa Bay does from Adam, but hey, it's the thought that counts.
Yeah. I don't know. Tampa Bay wasn't really relevant until Brady showed up, though, as far as NFC goes. So,
No, they were not good since John Gruden was head coach in the early 2000s.
yeah. Uh,
Speaking of good, Cleveland.
they have Cooper now. And I actually liked that move. I knew he was leaving, so.
I thought I thought it was a good move for him because obviously CeeDee Lamb's the focus of the young
Right.
receiving core in Dallas, and that's perfectly fine. I saw that coming. It's an interesting move, especially now with Deshaun Watson being there in
Right.
Cleveland. Even though I still thought they gave up way too much for him. Um,
Yeah.
Yikes! A lot of people were tweeting at me, Denver gave up a lot. No, I think that was Cleveland.
Yeah.
But where in your opinion, and I know we talked about this last night, and we were trying to figure out as well. Where does Baker?
Oh,
What is more logic? I said Tampa Bay, and here's why. He's obviously not going to play if he's in Tampa Bay.
right.
Maybe even though I am a Baker fan, but obviously biased as well. Um, but he can learn. He can
Mhm.
obviously be quiet and just learn the game from Tom Brady, one of the greatest to play it. But Gab brought up a good point. I'm kind of going to get your thoughts. Let's just say it is Tampa Bay. Could you see Baker, even with his ego that he has, and we all know he has one, be a backup quarterback? I don't know if he would have a problem with that because guess what? He's going to get a ring, more than likely, to do nothing. But I know it's Baker.
It is Baker. But who else really has a spot where he could be a starter at this point?
Seattle.
Free agency has been Baker over Drew Lock. I mean,
That's not much of a competition, right? But you never know.
did San Fran ever make their final decision? Because weren't they possibly going to
They
sell?
need to they got to make up their mind on Jimmy G.
Exactly. Because Baker could be good in San Francisco if, but Jimmy G's going to be the starter if he's there, in my opinion. But I know they
And
also just recently got
they got Trey
Yeah,
Lance.
exactly. So, yeah, and Trey Lance,
Uh-oh.
not bad, but
We got we got Cowboys people dying. Broncos re-signed Kareem Jackson. That was no surprise.
Cowboys people die. Wow, that literally sums up.
Rayfield Wright, I'm no
That,
disrespect to you. I don't know who you are. I hate saying that, but
but you guys re-signed Kareem Jackson. Nice.
yep, just now.
Nice.
So
If free
no
agency
surprise. I
was
kind of
quiet
saw that, but
recently,
good pickup. Good resign, I should say. Um, good thing I didn't unfollow him on Twitter. But
don't publicly say you're going to unfollow someone on Twitter. That's not how that works.
exactly. Tomorrow morning we'll wake up to 0 followers. But no, I don't. No, he's still on there.
Yeah.
Not like he watches the show anyway.
Yeah.
Um, but no, what we were talking about? Oh, Baker.
Baker Mayfield.
I I don't know where he goes. I really don't. Oh, and Jimmy G. There we go. Jimmy G. They got to figure out what they're going to do with him because Trey Lance they're really high on.
Right.
Jimmy G is the value of Jimmy G. I don't know what the value is when it comes to trade. I
Hmm.
don't know.
Well, most of the
But then
people that
again,
have
who would pick him
quarterbacks
up?
needs are already got
Mm-hmm.
their quarterback. So, free agency, drafts coming up soon. I don't know. They want it, like, the
What
Browns
a,
do want to get rid of him, right? I mean, that's what it seems like. But he's
I would
not going to
imagine
be the
that'll be my
starter with,
guess.
he's not going to be the starter with, no.
Not with Watson there, no.
Yeah, no. I mean, that would be shocking if for some reason you beat out Watson and still Baker Mayfield day. But I have
Especially the money
a
they're paying
Browns
him.
fan friend who's really high on Baker going to Seattle because she also loves DK Metcalf and wants to see that combination of Baker Mayfield and Metcalf. So if Metcalf also stays
Hmm.
in Seattle, since there's rumors of that too.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Seattle. Hmm. I think Baker just needs to go somewhere with a restart, just like a Drew Lock.
Right. Yeah.
Go somewhere where you can just do you.
Right. There's
Now
not
we're
many teams that are like
no, there's
they're
not.
restructuring, rebranding.
Mm-mm.
Seattle Saints. I'm sitting here looking at my helmets again. Falcons, maybe. Um, Lions could always use help. They're not really rebranding. Bears don't need him. Vikings signed Kirk Cousins for another year.
Horrible
I
contract.
still don't know why.
Horrible contract.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not many options though. Like time's dwindling down. Maybe they're waiting it out to see who people draft.
Then and, and the draft isn't very. I don't like this year's quarterback
Yeah,
class at all. You got
yeah,
Kirby Pickett from Pitt. Apparently, that's sad. Apparently, his claim to fame is his hands. I don't know what the big deal about his hands is. I don't. Whatever. I just, now next year, for example, Atlanta. I still think New Orleans got to figure something out.
hmm,
But what's interesting is Seattle, for example. This is a perfect time just to use Drew Lock just to tank because
right,
now you got Bryce Young from Alabama coming up in next year's draft.
right.
C.J. Stroud, even though Ohio State quarterbacks suck. Um, hey, better year next year compared
Yeah,
to the quarterbacks class this year.
hmm.
So
Maybe
I
that's
don't
their
know.
move. You don't know. I feel
Well,
like
if it was
that's
my
kind of what
move, I would
happens
have.
when you rebrand and you restructure. You have a couple years of tanking. Denver probably did that after the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
But it seems like you guys kind of got a well-oiled team to make some moves this year. But honestly, your guys' division is probably one of the scariest this year. So
They got at least we got a quarterback. That was the biggest issue. Even though I've always said, and I still was on the Drew Lock bandwagon until the day he got traded. Um, I still thought it was that freaking offensive line. And I
mm,
like Dalton Reisner. I like Lloyd Kujenberry. I like Mr. 72 Garrett Bowles, who holds like nobody's business.
yeah,
But and Jawan James just never want to play. But the offensive line, God, I'm sure he's still getting paid from us. The offensive line was just horrendous.
Right.
So any quarterback that's going to be behind him is going to suck. I felt bad for Kendall Hinton. They
Mhm.
had to come in for the one game because boy, that was. I like him, but boy, that was tough. But hey, my thing, and just so you know, I'm looking at this bag that's flying in the air. I'm trying to figure out where it's going to land. Um, but anyway, so we have a team to do something.
Right.
Now, will it produce on the field? I really don't know. What would be worst case scenario is something was to happen to some of our players, and then the whole season be washed up before they even got started. So
Right. Which tends to happen. And that's why when you
uh,
play fantasy football, you don't draft till after preseason games.
exactly.
The people
Do you
that do
play
it
fantasy?
Oh, tons of fantasy. I have like 5 leagues.
Yes,
Too
that's my
many.
kind
Too
of.
many to manage. But yeah. Here you look. I don't know. I feel like the AFC West is going to be very similar to the NFC West. You're going to have a lot of good teams battling it out. You're going to like have 3 people in the wild card possibly, like the NFC West did this year.
Hmm.
Multiple winning records. Maybe all of your 4 teams could have winning records this year. Looking at it,
It's
it's a
possible.
possibility, but that's unfortunate in the same aspect that you could have a good record and get shoved out of the playoffs because,
Hmm.
say, I don't know, what's the worst division in the AFC? Probably
The
South.
South.
I was gonna say
Hmm.
probably the South. Somebody
I
go,
would say the South.
9-8 and make the playoffs, and your team's 12-5. I think that's the right math. Yeah, 12-5,
Yeah.
and you somehow get shoved out of the playoffs because you're third seed in your division. I feel like that's going to be the scenario coming for your guys' division very soon. Maybe not this year, but very
I
soon.
could I could see something like that because you look at if it's probably anybody, it's probably us. I hate saying that.
Just say your helmet's in last place right now because you guys finished in last place. I rank them by place.
I like that. Good idea. I used to collect it. That was funny. That's people are like, oh, you used to do that. Yeah, they were inventing in those little coin slot machines. You twist it and the
Right.
plastic ball comes out and you pop it. And you got to install the mask on it. That was pretty cool. I don't know where they all went to, but no, it was. Oh, that's not good. Um, Fire warning. And yes, that's my retarded kid. Um,
Got a fire warning and a cat all at once.
Now last night's show, I don't know whose dog that was. It must have been probably 2 or 3 houses down. Um, where are you at? Um, but it was funny because I told Gabe, I said, if you hear a dog, just ignore it. And of course, this thing picks up. I swear to God, everything I think, are far as who knows where. And all you hear is I don't know if I haven't listened to the podcast yet, so I don't know if it picked it up or not. But the dog bark. I'm like, I'm literally trying to talk dog, and you're obviously in my ear, literally.
Yeah.
I don't think it was next door. I think it might have been the one next door, but two down or her house was down. So anyway, now the cat. I don't know where my cat went to. But anyway, so no, but no. I, right now, obviously, my way too early playoff, not prediction, just teams. Because what 7 teams get in,
Yeah, I hate that
eight.
rule.
I think it makes no sense. You might as well just make it 8. Just give it to even 8.
Right.
Or keep it to 6. I think in your East it's gonna be Buffalo, hands down.
Yeah,
New
Patriots and
England,
Buffalo are those 2 top teams, but the
I
Dolphins look
think,
good this year on paper. We'll see if it actually translates.
and Mike McDaniel's a really run guy, and I don't know how well Tyreek's gonna adapt to that.
Yeah,
Even though I still like Miami on paper, though.
yeah.
But I
But
got division.
Buffalo,
I got division winners. Um, got division winners will be Buffalo easily.
mhm.
Then your South. Oh God, the South. I don't like the Matt Ryan move at all.
Yeah, that one was interesting.
That made no sense.
He's a great fantasy backup quarterback, though, if you
Oh,
need you for like
absolutely.
a week.
He's one of those where Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, whoever doesn't matter,
Yeah,
is out for 1 week. Oh, okay, cool, whatever. Give me
yeah,
about 15 points.
yeah.
Um, South. It's definitely not Jacksonville. It's definitely not Houston. I would say, God Almighty, Tennessee. Give me Tennessee, I guess.
Yeah,
Um, Even
Okeechobee
though I
doesn't
do like
offer.
Jonathan Taylor, but Derrick Henry still beats him out.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the West. Unfortunately, I still gotta go Chiefs. As much as I hate saying that. And then on the North, um, Baltimore. I still think Cincinnati was a fluke.
I guess we will have to wait and see next year. I don't know, Jamar Chase.
Now I will say this: I thought that they should have went offensive line with Sue from
Mm,
Oregon. I thought that was a bad pick, and then they got Jamar Chase, and then the rest was history. So
yeah. But, they have those good wide receivers, and then the next year that wide receiver can either get injured or just not play as much of a role. And who knows? But I feel like that Burrow to Chase connection might be around for a few years. I don't know much longer than a few years, but we'll see. It was
is it as much as
fun to watch.
Tom Brady playing?
Yes, till Tom Brady turns 50, you're going to see Burrow and Jamar Chase.
Oh God.
Just like you're going to see Allen and Diggs. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Diggs just got his extension.
Yep.
I was really hoping his brother was really fighting for him to come to the Cowboys, and I'm like, hey, that's not a bad idea.
But Diggs is like, no, I want that
No,
ring, and
but like
Buffalo's a
that man
whole
has
lot
been there.
closer. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know I said it earlier. I really, really, it's not gonna happen, but I really believe if Jerry Jones removes himself from that, or at least starts to open up
Yeah.
less responsibilities, I really personally believe Dallas would be a whole lot better team.
Oh yeah.
Not that they're
I
bad. I'm
also
not
feel
saying
like
that by
coaching
any
wise,
means.
we could get a little bit better too. Like I'm not huge on Mike McCarthy. He's average.
Mm-mm.
I do love Kellen Moore because of Boise State, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like he's shown his full potential yet. In college, he was calling his own trick plays and
Yep.
kind of being an offensive coordinator, and I don't feel like we've seen enough of that yet. And maybe that's just because here and there offensive pieces have fallen. Like this year, offensive line should be what we draft,
Mm-hmm.
but Jerry Jones will probably not draft that right away, knowing Jerry Jones. Um, but I feel like if Kellen Moore gets a couple more years under his belt to be, I know there's been talks about him being a head coach. He interviewed for the Dolphins position and was final too. I don't think he should do it yet. I still feel like he has some learning to do. He's not bad.
Yep.
He has a potential to be much greater. And then obviously defense Dan Quinn, that was solid last year, and I hope they keep riding that train.
I
But
like
let's
Quinn. I'm
switch
kind of
Mike
glad he
McCarthy
stayed.
to someone who can. Why not?
I think Sean Payton would be a huge upgrade over
Mm-hmm.
McCarthy.
Yeah, but that's always rumor mills. Cowboys love to be in everyone's mouths. So
They're
well,
living in
let's
everybody's head
we
rent
like
free.
They're
Do
talked
what?
about a lot. They're talked about a lot. But
Well,
yeah,
that
that's
they are.
way too early rumor mill. I have a coworker that's a Vikings fan that told me that same prediction. A Patriots fan said, "I have a hot take for you." I'm like, "That's not really that hot." I've been hearing that for about a
No.
month now. But I definitely think if Mike McCarthy doesn't produce, he's out next year. Who knows? Maybe
I
maybe they'll step Kellen Moore up. I think it's too early for that, but
oh yeah.
I would love to see him underpaid to produce.
And there's a good chance, and I don't know what the schedule looks like for Dallas, obviously yet.
Terrible.
Is it?
Lots of like got to play Green Bay, got to play Bucks, the Rams,
Ew.
Bengals is our weird 17th game. Obviously we have the NFC East
Mm-hmm.
6 times. Can't remember what division we play this year because you know how you
I
play
know
like
it's not us.
randomly. It's not you guys know because we just
No.
played you guys. That was terrible as well. Lose to the
I hate
Raiders.
saying that, but that was one of our better
Yeah.
games. That was one
Terrible.
of our better
I
games.
want to say it's not them. They're maybe it's the South. It might be the South. Which that's Jags and Texans you could win. Titans and Colts. I think it's the South. So I don't think it's the North because we have the Bengals as our random game. Yeah, South sounds right.
Probably is.
So you could win two of those. You can win against the division. We swept them last year. That doesn't
Hmm.
happen a lot though. People say, "Oh, it's an easy division. That should be an easy sweep." It doesn't happen a lot because for some reason, when sucky teams play sucky teams, you actually have a competition. It can be exciting sometimes. So
Yeah.
say we win like four of those. That's 6 games right there. I don't know who we would beat as far as like Green Bay, Bucks, and Rams go. They probably would hand us L's. Rams definitely. Um, no, Packers. That's always a toss up against them. I'm still not over the Des caught it situation. And he did catch it, by the way. And if you think otherwise, you're wrong.
No, he caught it. It just, that's another thing. The instant replay. I think we've got more missed calls than I think the instant replay is even used for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But now going back to Mike McCarthy real quick, I think if you guys happen to for some reason struggle, there could be a good chance that he might be fired midway through the season or early part of the season.
And then they just make Dan Quinn interim coach, possibly. I've already seen Dan Quinn as a head
I could
coach.
see Dan Quinn.
I
Yeah,
don't.
wasn't really impressed with him at Atlanta, but
Yeah.
I think at least for the rest of the season he'll be okay.
The game that he did have to coach where McCarthy had COVID, he did pretty well. So
Oh, that is right. I forgot about that.
yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to is less COVID, hopefully this football season.
Oh, please,
That
please,
that was a nightmare.
it still is. But anyway,
Yes, but we don't need to get into that.
no, because I will ruin, not really ruin, but I'll say my own 2 cents and then be like, well, I'm not going to listen to him anymore. I'm like, okay, well, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
As for now, we can still have a freedom of speech. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
but no, I'm looking forward to it. I know we're still months away, but draft is what next week.
Usually the end of April, like April.
I'm off a week.
Yeah, I think you're off 1 week. I think it's the 21st. Not 100% sure, but it tends to be like maybe it's the week after.
Not that we have a first round pick. When is it?
I don't know. I'll look it up though.
Oh,
Draft
I thought somebody said it right here. I don't know if your team doesn't have a first round pick. Do you really truly
April
watch it?
20th.
Oh, it's way far. Okay.
So 3 weeks away.
Dying.
In good old Las Vegas, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, ma'am.
So that'll be fun to see them do fancy Vegas things.
Oh, Jesus.
What they wanted to do was when they first were going to draft in Vegas, they wanted to do like a whole players take a boat to the middle of the Bellagio fountains and walk up and get announced and then like boat off of it. Yes, this is a real thing. They did. And NHL All-Star Weekend, they had hockey shooting in the Bellagio fountains. It's possible. So,
Well, anything that goes in Vegas stays in Vegas, so you never know.
yeah.
I don't want to know what.
Gotta love my hometown.
Hey, I know one thing. The Knights are going to do some.
I will. Everyone's like, you're from Vegas, but you can't support the Paraders. Nope. Never.
No, I still you can't support them if they're in Vegas, and you sure can't support them if if you can't support them if you're in Los or L.A. or if you're in Oakland or anywhere else.
And there's a lot of people though that were in Vegas and didn't really follow football that jumped on the bandwagon. I see Raider stuff all the time when I go home to visit my dad. That and Golden Knights, obviously, two professional sports teams really did lift the city, but more the Golden Knights than the Raiders. Obviously, Raiders don't really lift much of anything.
So off topic, or not really off topic, but still stuck with God dang it, with Las Vegas. Do you think the Oakland A's will move there? Do you think they'll be the team that gets relocated? 'Cause I know a lot of talk with the
There has been
Athletics.
a lot of talk. And I mean, I'm not a huge baseball person. My dad follows the
Right.
Dodgers. And
Ew.
I'm kind of just like, if my
It's too
grandpa
long
and
of a
dad are how
season.
I get my, is how I got the Cowboys thing. And that's their baseball team.
Right.
But I know Vegas is trying to become that sports
Hmm.
market and get, all four professional sports teams. Baseball's probably the next logical explanation, especially with already having a deal with Oakland and getting the Raiders there. Oakland A's following suit just makes sense. And, you might have the fan base already there to contribute. We have it's not minor, it's one lower than that, I think. But they have like Las Vegas Aviators, which
Hmm.
people enjoy going to those games. So
Yeah, I
there's
saw them
definitely
play
space for a
last year.
baseball team, and it makes sense that it would be the A's. I don't know who else has been in talks of moving to Vegas, but
Honestly, I don't need as long. The only team I know is the A's because they've been trying to get out of Oakland
right,
for many years.
yeah. I mean, that stadium is. I've been to an Oakland A's game and not a pretty stadium. So Vegas would give them a nice glitzy stadium.
I think eventually, excuse me, if even if the Oakland A's doesn't move to Las Vegas, and let's say that either they stay in Oakland, build a stadium with whatever money they don't have,
Right.
or they move to Portland, which is probably another best case scenario for them. I still think eventually Las Vegas probably gets all major
Oh yeah.
sports teams. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time of when.
Well, once you get one, they're just going to start rolling in. It's a major city. I know they were worried about, the sports gambling aspect, but it hasn't seemed to cause much issue with the other two teams that are there. So why not? Maybe in the next
Well,
5, 10 years, probably more likely 10 for both
and,
baseball, basketball.
and I know a lot of people talk about that betting thing, and
Right.
my thing is I get what they're, I get from where they're saying it, but it's like we know there's a lot of betting going on anyway.
Right.
So to each its own. But I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know. I still think that God, that was a fart. Um, but no, I still think Vegas gets another team. But I think Oakland. I think it'd be a good fit for Las Vegas.
I think
I don't
baseball is
know.
next to come, though. I know there's
Oh,
been talks of
absolutely.
basketball, but baseball seems more logical to come next.
The Las Vegas Athletics. They would have to change the name. I can't. I don't like that.
You just shorten it to A's. Keep it A's without the athletic part.
At
We,
least get rid of the
had,
elephant on the
we had
baseball.
a not a professional, but a baseball team that was the Las Vegas 51s, and I really liked that. I don't know what 51s has to do with Vegas, but
I think the Area 51. I think is why.
that makes
Because they came to Oklahoma City, and I watched. My dad and I watched them. Oh, it's been a minute because he had a stroke in 20, so it would have to be ooh late between 2017 and 19 because he had a stroke in 20. So it'd have to be in between there. But anyway, so we saw Las Vegas 51ers,
yeah,
and I liked their logo. I thought that was
yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah. The little alien one.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Why not? Just rebrand. Make that the professional team.
The Las Vegas 51ers. That'd be kind of cool. But I'm sure it has something to do with Area 51.
That
I'm
would make
guessing. I
sense
don't know.
because the alien was the mascot. That 100% makes sense. So, but
Now the
yeah,
real question is, was there an alien walking around the ballpark as a mascot?
yes, its name was Cosmo.
Sweet. Now I knew I should have went over there. I'd be like, see, I caught an alien. Who cares if it's a costume? I still caught one.
Yeah, it works.
Cool. I like baseball, but not that much.
Right.
Too long
And
of a season for
I
me.
just say I don't do baseball. I don't do basketball. Football
I
is the number
definitely don't
one.
do that.
Hockey's number two.
Yeah, basketball. Even though we got the Thunder, yeah.
Yeah.
And what's funny is a lot of people, you're not a Thunder fan. I'm a Thunder fan, but I'm not gonna be one of those hardcore dress myself up in everything Thunder and go
And
down
that's
to
because the
Paycom and
Cowboys. Head to toe, Cowboys. I'm not extreme though. I don't paint my face. Like,
No, I definitely don't do that. With my look, I'll get an allergic reaction. My face comes up all bubbly the next 3 or 4 days. That would suck. Be like this guy's like, well, I'm taking my shirt off. No, I'm not doing that either. Well,
no.
why not? Because again, I could have an allergic reaction to whatever body paint I'm using. And again, I wake up in the middle of the night with bumps on myself. So there you go.
I used to be like my first game that I ever went to that was NFL. It was a Broncos game against, I want to say it was the Dolphins.
Hmm.
And I was so worried about wearing the Cowboys jersey. I'm like, no, I can't wear my team's jersey there. It was when Ware was on the team. So I just went and bought a
Hmm.
DeMarcus Ware shirt. That was a Broncos one.
Nice.
Didn't mind him then. I still have the shirt. Comfy. So I was like always worried about that,
Smart.
wearing some other team's jersey in their stadium. But now I'm kind of over that. Like we went to Broncos and Chargers when the Chargers were in that soccer stadium for,
Yep.
I think that was 2 years ago or something, 3 years ago,
Hmm.
and wore my DeMarcus Ware one. I'm like, he was on the Broncos. It's relevant. It's my Cowboys jersey. It doesn't matter. So kind of just gotta get over that fear of no matter where you're at, just do it. Got the wrong kind of football channel here.
Nah, no way,
Dun,
homie.
dun, dun. Sorry,
No,
I rant.
yeah. If you actually watch football, most definitely American football. But we're glad that you're watching anyway, or at least listening, or
Hey, I
however.
play indoor soccer. That counts, right?
Well, there you go. So
Or indoor
CTID, stay
football.
around for that.
Yeah, yeah. I scored a goal last night. There you go. There's your
Nice.
football talk.
Congrats. Yeah, I don't know nothing about soccer. I don't know diddly squat. I couldn't even tell you the rules.
It's pretty similar to hockey if you like
Hockey.
hockey. But yeah, I grew up playing outdoor soccer and then switched over to
Oh,
indoor.
this guy's active. Here we go. Come on, phone, stay over there. I don't get why it's called soccer to you, LOL. I don't know. That's just how it is here in America. I don't get a lot of things. Trust me
Because
on that
we
one.
have our own football, which, apparently we can't stay with the trends on many things. We have to have our own football, have our own measurement system, whatever else
Yeah.
America does.
CTID, it's just America. We just run with it and call it what we want. I don't
I
know if
know
that's
there's
even
always
right.
that thing where people say we should just call football hand egg, and that's just no.
Speaking of football, did you read on I think I posted it yesterday, or at least what they call it, quote tweeted it. What's your thoughts on the Olympics and the NFL trying to get their hands on the Olympics to have flag football in 28? Did you catch that?
I didn't catch that, but that's an interesting concept. Like, would they want to use professional football players or college
I
football
don't know.
players, or
I loved I
because I
loved
feel
how
like flag football and regular football is two different things. Still played the same, but I feel like it's kind of going to be like the NFL when they do the Pro Bowl. That's how I
hmm
feel like it would transfer to. It's just something they
I,
do that's a little bit silly. That
I'm not a huge Olympic person.
yeah,
Now, will I sit there and say, will flag football catch my attention? No, I probably won't. But I don't know if it's going to be NFL players, but then that's what I'm trying to figure out. Well, first of all, I'm trying to figure out why the NFL has to get their hands on the Olympics. I'm not a huge Olympic person
NFL just
anyway, so
wants to get their hands on everything.
it's Roger Goodell.
Yeah,
They want to
I
be
mean,
in Germany
how many
and
different stadiums
London.
do we have in different countries now? We have Germany, Mexico, England.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the three?
Think,
Is there anything I'm missing?
yeah, I think that's it.
Because I know they're playing games in all three this next year.
Yep.
He's trying to
Yeah,
make it
because
more
Denver's supposed to
worldwide,
be in
maybe.
London. Well, I know Denver's supposed to be one of the teams that's in the finalists to be in London this year.
Okay,
Maybe that'd be against Seattle. That'd be kind of hilarious.
that'd be kind of funny. Why not? And I know there
Why
was
not?
rumors of London getting a football team at one point, but
Jacksonville was a team that's supposed to be for a long time now. I don't know if that's still in the works,
I
but
feel like that'd be too hard, with the away games and the traveling. Yeah.
I don't see how that would work. Now would London, the NFL London team, would they pack the stadium? Oh, absolutely they would.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But
No.
my thing
Football
is that
people like football.
exactly. I mean, my thing is you got TV you would have to figure it out on. You would
Right.
have traveling for the visiting team galore,
Hmm.
a humongous jet lag. That would sound like me would make no fun. You can't even enjoy your trip.
Right.
Never been to London, but I'm sure it's
Me
fun
neither.
regardless.
I've heard it's a fun place to visit.
That's what I hear. I'm trying to get
I've
out
been
of
to
this country
Germany.
to
That
other
was
places.
great. But that's about it. Giant pretzels.
CTID, you're there. Yeah, I've never been overseas. That'd be kind of cool. I think now, well, probably now, probably wouldn't be so because everybody finds out, it's probably too dangerous now. I'm sure, but I think it'd be cool to travel somewhere.
Yeah.
But
But it wouldn't work with
gas prices.
sports. Would not work with football, I don't
Oh
think.
Lord, no. Mm-mm.
You could make a case for Mexico though. You could make a case for Mexico.
I could see more of that than I would in London and
Yeah.
Germany,
Yeah.
just because at least you're in a civilized time
Right.
zone for one, and then two, at
Right.
least it's traveling wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah. And I
But
mean, I guess you could bring to Canada, but they have the Canadian Football League, and no one really cares about that.
the
So,
only thing I like about that league is the field. That's
yeah,
pretty cool. Other
yeah,
than that, I don't. I think we'll have five. Now, do they have five downs?
I don't know.
There was
Uh,
some league that has five downs. I don't know who
yeah.
it is. Here we go. Earlier we talked about real quick. Earlier we talked about how the NFL teams in the college, how they always say that each should play each other. Have it this way: whatever they call the Canadian football champion, play the Super Bowl champion on neutral site in London. There you go. London wants to see some
On
football. There you
London.
go. London, the new site of the World Bowl between, or the North America Bowl between Canada's team and whoever the Super Bowl team is. That's all I got for you on that one. Roger Goodell, if you're listening, that's my idea. So if you take it, I'm going to sue you.
What if he gives you credit and profit? Come on.
Let's give me credit. Like,
He
hey,
probably won't give you credit, but maybe some hush money.
he'll be like, just don't sue me. Here's 10,000. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll go pay off my car. I'm gone.
Can you
Whatever.
make my podcast become the official NFL podcast?
He'd be like, well, you first off, you need this. You need this. Well, make it happen. Well, you need a co-host. Okay, well, put a hiring sign then. Help me out.
You got no problem getting guests. I'm sure you'd be fine getting a co-host.
We'll be see. We'll see. So, um, Dallas. I
We
still.
signed Dante Fowler to switch over from Randy Gregory. I don't know if you knew that. So I
Where's that
actually
today?
liked the move. I don't
I
remember
like
when that was,
that.
like 2 weeks ago or something, but
Yeah, I totally
there
missed
were
that
all
one.
these big names like Von Miller and well, mostly Von Miller and Randy Gregory and Chandler Jones and the Honey Badger. I don't think has signed anywhere yet,
Mm-mm.
but yeah, they went and picked up Dante Fowler, and I'm like, that's not a bad replacement for Randy Gregory.
No, it's not. Mm-mm.
So, I was definitely mad about the Randy Gregory thing at first, and then when they signed him, I'm like, ooh, okay, I can roll with that. It's a 1 year contract, but you know, one
I
year
thought it
proof.
was hilarious.
Cowboys do that a lot.
A lot. Well, absolutely. I thought Von Miller. I thought Von Miller was going to go to Dallas because obviously he went to
Yeah,
A&M.
yes.
I don't know if he's actually from Texas, but
I think originally he is, yes. And then
is he?
Demarcus Ware has an ear on him still and was trying to recruit him
Yep.
there as well. But I heard that there actually wasn't really much contact with Miller before he ended up getting that huge contract with the Bills.
The
Well, again,
Bills, which is I thought was
problem
outrageous.
that the players are recruiting him more than the actual recruiters.
That's what social media does for you. That you get stalkers that you really don't want stalking you, and then you get people that will try to recruit both. It goes with high school kids to college and vice versa. But of course, Honey Badger, I don't know what he's up to, but I know Denver wants him, but we don't have the cap. And I think that Kareem Jackson probably seals that deal. So,
Yeah.
um, but then plus we don't have the cap space for him. So
Right.
I think Honey Badger probably goes. Saints.
Hmm.
I don't know. As long as he gets out of the AFC West, I'm perfectly fine with it.
There you go. Like,
The lesson the
into the
chance.
other conference. That's how I feel about players too.
Now, one thing on the final note is Dallas. I like Dallas, but they've got
Yeah.
to get over the hump of the playoff. See, that's where I get. That's where I really would jump. Not really jump on the bandwagon, but I'm like, this team actually has a shot. Is until the playoffs.
Right.
But
I
um,
really thought this year we at least had a shot to win one. And I even wrote
I
an
really,
article about it. I said, and my take was terrible. I said that the 49ers was probably going to be our easiest matchup. And unfortunately, penalties, lots of penalties cost us. That's something they've got to work on. And that's my reasoning is there was way too many penalties to win that game. And also the 14 seconds and play calling at that point was not good either. But
time management.
time management, penalties, things like that. But roster wise, the team pretty solid. You know, we should be able to make some sort of run, but that's also because we're in a terrible division. If we
Hmm.
were in a better division, who knows?
You guys got the talent. That's what I'm not knocking. You guys got the talent. Just unfortunately, it's that freaking playoff. That's
Curse.
I. That's, Buffalo is cursed. If anybody, it's Buffalo.
I mean, at least they can make it farther. But yeah, they changed the overtime rules in the playoffs now, though, so that did end up going through.
I like it, and I see a lot of people like what makes no sense. What makes a lot of sense because Tim Tebow is a prime example. So it affects not just that, but Broncos fans were like, well, that makes no sense. Well, guys, they helped us out against Pittsburgh back in
Right.
2011, but at least give everybody a shot. And I
Right.
still wish it would have been the college level, but that's fine. I'll give I'll
Yeah,
get whatever we can give, but I don't know. We'll see how that works out. But
yes.
I'm ready for the football season. I don't care what anybody says.
You and me both. You say, is it August yet?
Here in about it feels like August. What we're 3 months out from training camp opening, so
Sweet. I'm ready for it. It's been too long.
it'd be
But I
cool to
also don't
go. I
want
know
this to extend. You know, I don't like the 17 games. I wish they would have kept the 16.
that was dumb.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. Was not a huge fan of that at all.
Hmm.
Um, less preseason. Okay, I like that because I'm not a preseason person at all.
Right. Agree.
Um, but trying to figure out what my neighbors are doing. They well they backed one car up and now they're sitting in the middle of the road. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, whatever. But they get it's gonna be interesting. I don't like the 17 games. I think it makes no
Yeah.
sense. Keep it to 16. I think the Major League Baseball needs to lessen their games. But
Yep.
it'd be cool. Oh, that's what I was gonna go with. It'd be cool to go on like a tour, not so much the whole country, but at least Kansas City would be up north. Be like Kansas City, Denver's and Inglewood. That's the bad thing. I think Dallas is in Frisco. But
Hmm.
anyway, when I'm going with that, it'd be kind of cool like tour at least the West Coast teams training
Yep.
camp,
Yeah.
and then like the next year do East. But
That'd be
you never
cool.
know. You never know what may happen. What's going on here? Oh, the Magic and the Hornets are fighting. That is cool. But but anyway, I had fun. It's a fun
Yeah.
show.
I enjoyed being on. Anytime. All the time. I got all the time in the world. Well, not all the time, but regardless, I
Hey,
love talking football. So, it's my
well,
favorite
I'm
sport.
ready for it. Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of Dallas, that's what I was going to ask you real quick. I
Oh.
know To comes out of unretired. He's unretired now, playing the fan controlled football. He's 48. He's going to play some football with Johnny Manziel. Now I
Wow.
don't know if Johnny Manziel is going to throw to him. I'm not going to say that, but
Yeah.
I guess To is going to be playing some football.
Yeah. I,
Just so you
I
know.
know he's talked about wanting to come back, and he's not going to end up coming back to the NFL. Just like the
No.
Roger case, too old.
Anybody that thought Denver should have traded for that? Haha. Look what we got now.
But there you go. He can go live his best life playing with Johnny Manziel, like you said. Why not support him? Just don't get
Poor
into any
bastard.
craziness.
Now you want to talk about a guy I did not like was Johnny Manziel. Nope. He got on my
Next.
nerves. He got on my nerves. No, 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 no. So, but anyway, you're more than welcome to come back anytime. I don't care. Just say, hey, what you
Yeah.
doing? Like, cool.
I
And
say, see you in 4 years when your team ultimately beats mine again, because tends to be the trend.
well, these two teams right now won't meet in the Super Bowl. I'm
No,
not
no,
directing that
no.
towards Dallas by any means. Um, we
I
still
don't
got our
know.
own issues.
I don't know which one has the better shot now, though, with your guys' rebuilding.
I still like your receiving core better than ours.
Mm,
Because Cortland, you don't know how healthy he is because last year they didn't throw to him much at all. Like granted, you had Tate Bridgewater and you had Drew Lock.
yeah.
Jerry Judy needs to catch. I know he. I think he
I think he
admitted
was
that,
hurt for a while.
and he was hurt. And I hope that's not his ankle that he had issues with at Alabama. That's giving
Mm,
him issues. I think someone said it was, but I thought it was the opposite one. But I hope it's not. I know he was frustrated with Drew last year.
right.
Um, I'm sure he's with Teddy. Neither of them could have thrown. Albert
They're
O,
all
I
broken
like, but
now.
I like Albert O, but I don't know. I wish we would have kept Fant.
Yeah, I really liked him.
Tim Patrick is
I like
really a
him.
good.
I actually like him.
Yeah, I really like Patrick. KJ should be back healthy after his ACL tear. I
Yeah.
like our receiving core. I still like Dallas's a little bit better
Oh,
though.
yeah. Because you got
Um,
CeeDee Lamb, Gallup. They just signed James Washington. I thought that was a great
yeah.
pickup for them. Probably going to draft another wide receiver. Hopefully
Oh,
not too
absolutely.
early. Yeah,
No, I like the receiving core, but not that early.
yeah.
So,
Tight end. I really like the
Dallas.
tight end, Dalton Schultz. They signed him to the franchise tag.
Hmm.
So yeah, we'll see what happens.
We'll see. But we'll wrap that up because, as I'll keep on bragging about how Denver's going to eventually win again. But we'll
Say,
get there.
eventually, when will we face off again? Because that tends to be the pattern.
It'd
I
be awesome
There's
if
nothing was going to beat though for me the Romo and Peyton showdown. That was my all-time favorite matchup of Denver.
you got
Dallas.
to bring that up now.
I'm sorry.
I was fooled. I think the whole world, well, the cameraman was fooled when Peyton did the did the rollout. I think everybody was fooled. I don't think
Yeah,
anybody expected him just to whoop
yeah,
to the left
yeah.
I don't think he even thought he was going to get in the end zone.
It's just the brilliance of Peyton Manning.
But we got your guys'
Gotta give
number.
him his credit, and that was probably one of Romo's best games he played too. So, yeah.
Now that was a guy. He's a better commentator than he is.
Oh,
Than I
I
thought he
love
was
his
player.
commentary, but some people hate on the commentary.
No,
Too many
I would rather listen to him than Joe and Troy.
haters. All right. Hot take.
But that's for a
There
whole
you
other day. But no, it would be cool if one day Dallas and Denver gets in the Super Bowl, but it won't be this year, so I'll have to hold on to that hope for another year. But
Exactly.
so all the way from Idaho, Miss Josie
Apron.
from
I got your last name.
there you go. Teamwork, as they always say, makes a
Josie
dream work.
Av on Twitter if you want to follow me.
All that information will be in the description of the podcast, but
Sweet.
the writer for Couch Guy Sports knows her
Yep.
Cowboys, loves her Cowboys, and of course her Golden Knights.
Yep.
At least I will say that your team's better than my team. So, but anyway, New Jersey will have another year. Thank you so. Thank you so much for coming on today. Of course, you're welcome back anytime.
Yeah.
Podcast dropping here in the next hour or two, and don't have too much fun and have fun with your indoor soccer season.
Thank you. And thanks for having me on.
Not a problem. Welcome back anytime. As always, listen to us on all major podcast platforms, and everyone have a wonderful, safe weekend, and we will see you guys back next week. And we are out.